Oh, good.
So that way, that runs, and it's a lot less money to run it here than it would be to go through town because you don't have the asphalt. That's another option, right? You could take it right through the middle of town.
Yeah.
But then you have a different problem. You run through the middle of town, you don't want people down here to connect to it because the pressure is too high. So if you run it out here, then you can keep these folks on the pressure zone they are already downtown, and then you can put pressure reducing valves to feed back into that.
So your suggestion is really around town? Is that what you think, Larry?
Well, that's what I wouldn't go through town. I'd go around town. Yeah.
Around town.
Sure. Yeah.
It's nice to go through town because then you can tap off either side of the pipeline. But here, it just makes a lot more sense to go on the west side.
Well, especially since most of downtown is in pretty good shape with their pressure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They certainly wouldn't want to increase the pressure.
Right. Yeah. The only part about tapping in from the west side is so that it's looped, and that's probably not a bad idea. But is it looped down there anyway?
I'm sorry. I just want to see if I can get this. I don't know why those pipes don't come up. Sorry. Would you ask that question again?
Isn't all of this piping down here looped anyway?
It's reasonably well looped. It's not great. There are some sections where this is looped through here. As you get in, actually, it's pretty good. That's right.
Yeah.
It's actually not bad. The reason I said it wasn't looped is because you have some pretty small loops.
On the one that's on this side, below alternative, can you just click on that one? On the left side of your screen.
Left side of the screen.
Yeah, over here.
Would you drive for me? Sorry.
I think it's right.
Oh, there we go.
There's pipes.
Was I on the wrong slide?
I don't know.
I was.
So what's the elevation?
So there's pipes.
of that pipe?
I'm sorry?
The elevation,
Oops.
how far up is
Changed it.
it gonna go? It says new transmission main.
There we go. We'll keep that.
So what's the elevation?
Where you end the pipe up here.
So you mean how high is it?
At Larry's house.
Yeah, at Larry's house.
I don't know. The ground elevation is 2430,
I have to get my GPS out.
2240-ish, I think. Does that sound right?
What's that?
2240?
It's
Somewhere
somewhere around there, yeah.
If you run if you run the pressure in here, you get that above 40 PSI, which we're shooting for. So that would be 4 times 2, about 90 feet. So we'd be just a little over 2300, 2330 or so.
I had a question on here.
Yeah.
Your red is the new piping here.
Yep.
So you're connecting, you're putting new piping along Cape Horn at the end of Waller to connect to the 6-inch here.
Yeah.
But how come you're not connecting this to here so that it connects the rest of Dromore? That way you don't need that tank.
Well, you get the 6-inch to the 4-inch, and you can just squeak out your 500 gallons a minute.
Well, yeah, but that's down here. But you got this
4-inch pipe there.
4-inch pipe there.
I know, and
Isn't this what we need to make 6-inch to connect to here to get all of this?
Yeah, good question. So yes, you could. You can get your pressures out here just barely with that 4-inch. By connecting over here, we get rid of the pump station. We were trying to eliminate anything you didn't absolutely have to do. I would love to see you replace that pipe, and that's when you're talking about that little.
Well, and I think that's what we talked about. Yeah.
It needs to be replaced.
In a lot of ways, yes.
We can get rid of the pressure.
What's the
station,
elevation
that's
you're
a big
Everything
thing.
else.
What's the highest elevation
You're a lot.
on Cape Horn Road that we're servicing?
Are you talking about like in the Dromore area, Duwamish, or are you talking about
Yeah, going to Duwamish.
the pull it up here?
And the other question I had was this: from here, you're going to go down and then come back up again to here.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to go down and then come back up. So, don't we need a booster station somewhere along this new section of pipe to keep the pressure up along these areas?
No, because the tank down here drives the pressure all the way through there.
Okay.
So by keeping that tank and doing this bypass, you keep the
Looks
same
like
head
about
across
2,300
there.
feet.
So it'll be enough head to
So.
to
if we
keep
got more flow,
To keep just above 40 psi.
right.
Tank would take
Okay.
care of it.
It's not
Yeah,
super. It's not a great.
I have some other
You know,
ideas
I
that
think-
you do.
and we've talked
As long
about
as we keep
that.
up, that's cheap.
Yeah, we're looking at 2430.
A cleaner solution is to do something to make that tank just a little bit taller. The existing tank's a little bit low.
Mhm.
And so if you put a new tank up here or did something so you could change the elevations, you get better head that way. But I think this way you get what you need. It runs over there. You're right though, because there's up and down. We've got some air relief valves along that line so that we don't end up with an air problem in the pipe.
Okay. All right.
How many feet about, is that?
Roughly 400 feet that we
100 feet?
had measured off. And then we talked about, there's another, from what you're explaining, there's another 6-inch line parallel to it.
Yes.
Well, there's a 6-inch line that runs down to,
To
The lower houses.
yeah.
I don't know if that's what we were talking about, tying in that
Yeah,
6-inch
yeah.
line, but we
Yeah.
also, just taking that 4 and putting a 6 in there.
well, yeah, because that's what I
That's
thought
the
you'd
fire.
do is just right here at North Shore Lane is just is tee it and run 6-inch 6-inch to here to your other 6-inch and then abandon that 4-inch and the
That
pump
was the
station.
plan, was abandon that.
And you have to be a little careful there because this purple is on a different pressure zone than the yellow. The yellow is on that Dromore pressure zone that gets pumped up, and the purple is off the main zone.
And Ted, I
Well,
think
if we,
correction
if-
on that, I looked at it wrong, that's 2,300 at Benham. I thought I was looking at
And,
Duane's, so it's even
and
higher.
I was told
So
that
23.
Yeah,
I look
I'm
onto
trying
a
to see if I can find
fire
Duane's,
permits
that was
onto
a
the line.
good place.
Yeah.
down
23.
below that 4-inch, they
Right.
can actually collapse that 4-inch to a sec.
Okay.
Well, now, hey, Bob, is this 4-inch line up here connected with the 6-inch down below?
Yes, it is. See, it goes to, it's a T.
Yeah.
It goes up, and it comes up, and it goes, and then it goes west.
And I thought that 4-inch served up to the tank.
Yes,
So
it
these-
goes from the Dromore station up to the tank,
Yep.
and then it comes back down, but then it goes to, when it gets back down to Cape Horn, it becomes a 6. That's how they can meet their fire flow supposed requirements.
Right.
I mean, in other words, they put the fire
They
on
kinda
a
work
6-inch
that out.
line that's only fed by a 4
Okay.
from the
That
tank.
makes sense. So I didn't tell you right there.
The tank feeds a 6-inch line.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's a 4, but it feeds it down to the Cape Horn, it's a 4-inch down to Cape Horn, and it becomes a 6-inch line with the rest of the way.
That makes sense.
I've got the plans right here, so.
Yeah, so then, okay, so if this isn't connected to this 6-inch line, then it's not going to help with the pressure, low pressure for the houses along Cape Horn Road in this 4-inch section.
Yeah.
Like, because my parents live here right on this corner. They live
It's gotta
on
be carried,
North
it's gotta
Shore.
be carried through.
And sometimes they have good water pressure, but most times they don't.
Yeah,
And
so somehow you want to make sure that this area is on the upper pressure zone. What we had shown
exactly.
is that connects to the 4-inch, and there's a valve here to keep that pressure low down.
Their
reduce the
units are
pressure.
45 PSI, I put a gauge on it
Yeah, well,
there, so.
their rainbird was working the other
Right.
day, but it normally doesn't.
Right.
So
Sprinklers like 50, pretty much is a minimum.
Yeah. I mean, when you take a shower, it's fine. But when my mom's trying to water the garden,
And take a shower.
It drops pretty fast, doesn't it?
yeah, and then when everybody else is doing the same
Yeah.
thing, then they lose pressure pretty quick.
So that pipe for them comes down from the pump house, Larry, right, for your parents?
I think they're on the 6-inch.
Yeah, they're on the 6-inch. It comes from. It's not the Dromore system.
Yeah, it comes back up. So
Oh,
basically,
I gotcha.
the pressure down here is pushing it up. So by the time it gets up here, they're at the low pressure range.
And remember, it's coming through the PRV and then going back up.
Yeah.
If it was going around town,
Okay.
it would have higher
So
pressure.
that's what I understood. Let me make sure I'm clear here. So this lower 6-inch pipe is after the PRV.
Yeah.
This yellow line is on the Dromore system.
Right.
Yeah, so they're definitely two separate systems.
Right.
Okay, good.
So, but I'm just kind of wondering if we, if we just connect this red line, the new line here
Mhm.
to the existing 6-inch and then run 6-inch out here.
And that would be good. We still have to put the pressure reducing valve there though.
Well,
Because
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, good. So we budgeted for at least one PRV there, but not to replace that pipe. You've got enough pressure to make it work, but it would be better. I agree.
Now, my main question is, we are running an 8-inch pipe all the way through town up to the lime kiln.
Okay, help me get oriented there.
The lime kiln, the follow the blue line.
that blue line
That's
there.
right, okay.
Now, that's a lot of water, and we're not using anywhere close to that amount of water.
Right. So you're thinking, continue to maintain that, you get all your water flowing through the blue, that blue line. And the issue, okay, if you didn't have to meet the higher pressures and higher fire flow up here, that would work just fine. But this blue line has got a pressure reducing valve, so we take the pressure from here down to here, so we don't blow up these lower houses. If you kept that hot, if you kept that all at the same pressure as coming off the tank, then you would overpressure these houses down here, and you actually end up with more head loss, so you don't get enough fire flow up here. So that 12-inch going around, especially when you're looking at a fire flow, you're trying to run so much water through it, you get a lot of loss through that pipe. And so that 8-inch would work, but you'd have to make it a separate. You'd have to either put pressure reducing valves all the way along it.
Well, wouldn't that be a lot less expensive than running a $1.4 million 12-inch line?
Let's see. So you would end up with each one of the connections with a PRV. You could do that. It becomes a little bit of an operations nightmare because then you'd have whatever, maybe 1, 2, 3.
Well, then we mentioned to you also, just as a point of clarification, Ted, the 8-inch line goes to the bitter end marina, then it's 6 inches up to Lime Kiln from there. But now coming out of Lime Kiln, it's 8 inches all the way down out into the bay and up to Cape Horn. Just so you know, so there's both a 6 and an 8-inch line in there.
I don't think you could. So you'd end up with about 8 PRVs in there, which is a lot, but probably workable. You would end up with lower fire flow out here. You could then feed water back up here. That would still be okay. You'd meet your pressure, probably not your fire flow there, but at least pressure.
Well, and you could make a loop from Larry's place, and it's only 100 or so feet to that lower pressure area.
So I do know, that's a good question. We modeled that as a 12-inch. We tried it as a 10-inch, and we couldn't quite get the fire flows and the pressures we needed. So I think that 8-inch doesn't quite get you there. But that would certainly be something, when you guys decide which direction you're going to go, you could look at just keeping that 8-inch line and putting PRVs along there. The reason I don't love a bunch of PRVs is then you lose all your looping because you can't. From the PRV down, that's still a loop, but you've lost your looping back to the main line. And a bunch of PRVs, you have to balance them, or you get, especially if there's a loop, you end up with water doing funny things. But I think you're right.